Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel on this beautiful day. How you guys and girls doing? I hope you're doing great as always. Please check out the description box for all the nice links. Also drop a like, subscribe if you like the content. Check out the top right eye for even more links, and my Patreon link is in the bottom if you want to support me that way. Otherwise, thank you for just watching. All right, so in today's video we're going to be going through my 5 tips that I have for you for picking your first programming language. And it's going to be a very kind of scary task because you're going to be spending a lot of time with this language and you want to pick a good one so you'll get the most out of it. And this is a question I get a lot from a lot of you. Hopefully I can answer all your questions with this one video. And we'll be doing more of these videos, especially about beginner level programming, as well as more videos on this topic itself, because these 5 tips doesn't cover everything. So don't worry, there'll be more information coming your way. So let's get started with my top 5 tips for picking your first programming language. Of course, the number one thing is to have your goals in check. So what is it you want to do in programming? And it's a very big question. And a lot of you might not think of this as you're picking your first language, but you're going to be spending a lot of time in this language, like I said. And you want something that helps you move towards your goal a lot faster. And of course, if you already have a programming language in school, I want you to think about picking maybe something a little different from that maybe fits your goals a lot better. So for example, I picked my language C++. That was my first language because I wanted to work with games. And I knew games required a lot more, intricate programming, a little lower level programming. So C++ was perfect for me, and it's easy enough to understand. It wasn't too complicated. It was good for beginners as well as it is for advanced users. So I want you to really think about your goals. What is it I like? And do some research on different programming languages. So my tip number 2 is to choose a mid-level programming language. Now, if you don't have any specific goals or anything, and you just want to pick a language, choose something that's mid-level. And with that, I mean something that isn't too complicated and not complicated. You should pick one that gives you the most of both worlds. So you have your lower level languages like C++ and even assembly, like these really low level languages where you're working closer to the hardware. So it's a lot harder to write and understand, I'd say. And then you have these higher level languages which are meant for more human understanding. So it's a lot easier to read, a lot easier to work with, but they're not as optimized. So a mid-level language, I'd say as a recommendation, would be either some scripting language that is a little more complicated, like maybe JavaScript or Python, where you can get into it a little more, or I'd say C# is a great way to start learning. And that's something I really fell in love with, C#, because it's very complex, but at the same time it's very flexible. My third tip would be to pick a language with lots of learning material and good videos. And this might not be as clear, but a lot of languages don't have good learning materials and they don't have good books. They don't have a lot of video tutorials online. So if you pick something that's quite popular and really, well known, like C#, C++, JavaScript, all this, you got tons of learning material to go through. All right. And you got lots of Udemy courses, all kinds of things you can think about. So when you're picking a language, make sure to check if it has good learning material or not, because the better the material is, the better you will learn. My fourth tip is very important, I'd say, because you can make the mistake of picking a language that isn't really updated nowadays. It's older. It doesn't really have that much good modern material to it and all that. So pick something that's flexible, but yet very modern. And usually modern languages are very flexible because that's where the trend is going. It's a lot more about human understanding. It shouldn't take that long to code something. It should be a lot easier, but still you should have the optimization and the performance there and the complexity you want. So again, I'm coming back to C#. It's a great language, just like that. It almost sounds like I'm making a commercial for C#, but it's not. C++ and C#, I'd say those 2 languages are great to start off with, just because they are so flexible and they have a lot of modern traits to them, modern ways of working, where it's easier to write and still you have this complexity. Okay, my last tip is something that I didn't do really. Well, I kind of did, but still, you want to pick a language which you can port easily to multi-platforms. And that's a good way of starting your journey, because these are, again, they're very flexible, very easy to learn usually, and very, very complex in themselves. But the fact that you can work with the same language on multiple devices will allow you to learn how different devices work. So you pick something like C++, for example, and it works on every device, but there are a few differences on the specific platforms. You might want to code something that is mobile, a mobile app. You might want to code maybe a Mac OS X application, whatever, a PC app, anything. So it's really good to know one language that you can kind of port easily around, so you can test on different platforms and you can learn. And in case that you're making a game or you're making something that should be multi-platform, that you want to reach out to a lot of people with, it will be really good for you. You'll already be in the ballpark of being able to do that. So you don't have to go and learn something totally new. As again, C#, C++, these languages are quite multi-platform. They're very well known. They're very robust in that sense, and it's very easy to get started with. So I'd recommend that. So just to summarize, guys, get your goals in check. Know what you want to code first of all. Make sure the programming language you pick and spend time with is going to help you reach that goal. Choose a language that is quite mid-level, again, quite flexible, modern, multi-platform, just so you can get the most out of your first language. And it'll be a lot easier to learn something new after that as well. So that's also a thing for you coders out there that are beginner coders, that being a good programmer is about learning new things quickly and understanding the basics of programming. And this is a video I'm going to do soon as well, being able to learn something quickly, what you want to look for while you're learning. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. It was really fun to do. I like to reflect on these things as well. If you want to watch more of these videos, comment in the description box. Also drop a like, subscribe, check out the top right eye, the description box, my Patreon link if you're interested in that. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you in the next one, all right? Bye-bye.